Hello, thanks for joining the program from the National Assembly, House of Representatives. I am Itaire Ikben, and I say season's greetings to all our teaming viewers. The House of Representatives passed a couple of bills at its last plenary of Thursday, December 21st, 2023. They include the 2023 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill and the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act Amendment Bill. Both bills seek to extend the budgets for 2023 from 31st December 2023 to March 31st, 2024. Other bills passed by the House at that plenary include the Southeast Development Commission Establishment Bill, the Nigerian Weights and Measures Regulatory Agency Establishment Bill 2023, and the National Film and Video Censorship Classification and Exhibition Regulatory Commission Establishment Bill. On the program today, we shall now bring you highlights of the House of Representatives plenary of Thursday, December 21st, 2023.
I've examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 20th December 2023.
I would like to present a petition on behalf of a constituent, citizen Bamidele Tolulope Emmanuel from Ishon, Ekiti, in Oye local government of Ekiti State. Mr. Speaker, he is a staff of the Nigerian Law School who for some reason has been denied his salary and other emoluments for the past 18 months. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to seek the leave of the House to lay this petition on behalf of my constituent. My name is Akin Rotimi Jr., and I represent the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency, which comprises Ikole and Oye local government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm here to lay this petition on behalf of my constituent, Arinze Uyenwa, from Oka North Local Government of Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, this petition is against the Nigerian Army. Mr. Austin, who is a brother to the petitioner, joined Army as a private in 2013. And a year after, he disappeared. For 9 years, this family has not seen their brother. They heard that there was a bomb blast somewhere in Mubi Barracks, where a lot of people died, and they were given a mass burial. But since for 9 years, the Nigerian Army has not contacted this family. They don't even know if their brother was part of the bomb blast or not. So, Mr. Speaker, the petitioners are asking that you use your good office to intervene and find out what actually happened to their brother, since all attempts to get the army to explain to them about the whereabouts of their brother for about 9 years has failed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to seek the leave of this House to lay this petition.
These petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Of urgent public importance, to present to the House may rise to do so. Is Honorable Amobi Godwin Oga in the House?
Mr. Speaker, this is a motion to urge the federal government of Nigeria, as a matter of urgency, to make malaria treatment drug-free to all citizens. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleague, this House is aware that malaria is a serious disease that spreads when you are bitten by a mosquito infected by the tiny parasite called Plasmodium. If it is not treated, malaria can cause several health problems such as seizures, brain damage, trouble breathing, organ failure, or even death. Malaria is common in the tropics and does not have respect for either race, tribe, or class. It infected everybody, Mr. Speaker. In 2020, Health Essential Report shows that 241 million reported cases of malaria throughout the world, with 627,000 deaths. And the majority of those deaths, 90%, was in Africa, with more than 80% involving children under the age of 5 years. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, the House further aware that the more severe form of malaria, which may progress to coma, is known as cerebral malaria. This type represents about 15% of deaths in children and nearly 20% of adult deaths. According to Malaria Treatment 2023, statistics about 45% of the total population of Nigeria get infected by malaria on annual basis. An estimate 68 million cases and 194,000 deaths due to disease was recorded in 2021. Nigeria has the highest burden of malaria globally, accounting for nearly 27% of the global malaria burden. The House notes that malaria is a cause and a consequence of poverty because both are interrelated, thus creating a very dangerous scenario that is very critical because of predominantly sick populations cannot have any strong economic power. The House further notes it is disturbing to understand that the average cost of treating malaria in Nigeria today by self-medication is about 5,000. And upon consultation with the health care provider with a laboratory test may cost over 10,000 naira. Many Nigerians cannot presently afford this consequently. It may result to be using local herbs or substandard drugs that may lead to complications or death. Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues, the House concerned that upon the present national economic hardship, where single meal per day is hardly affordable by most average and lower class citizens, with the exorbitant cost of living due to removal of fuel subsidy, affordability of this purchase of malaria drugs becomes even more difficult. Thus, the need for the intervention of government in the provision of free malaria treatment and drugs. Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues, I am seriously disturbed by this ugly scenario and further fear that if the situation is not changed for the better poorer, innocent low class, citizens may further suffer or even die as a result of high cost of living upon the increasing high cost of malaria drugs. Thus, the need to provide free malaria treatment and drugs by the government to all citizens. It may also further be interesting to note that HIV and tuberculosis that presently enjoy free treatment in Nigeria are not as most prominent, widespread, even killers as malaria today. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, the House resolves to urge the federal government of Nigeria as a matter of urgency, use part of the savings from the removal of petroleum subsidy to provide free malaria treatment and drugs in all government hospitals. 2, to urge the Federal Ministry of Health to set up units in all government hospitals in Nigeria for the provision of free malaria treatment and drugs. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion?
Mr. Speaker, I hereby rise this afternoon to second the so important motion raised by my friend and brother Mobi Oga. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so second.
The Ninth Assembly approve that we receive the loan that malaria needed for intervention that runs into hundreds of millions for the manufacturing of malaria nets in Nigeria. One of the reasons why we approved that particular loan was for local content to be included in the manufacturing of malaria nets and other items that we can source locally. I would like the Committee on Malaria, HIV, and Tuberculosis to revisit that issue as quickly as possible to find out why those malaria nets are not anywhere in Nigeria, those produced in Nigeria, and to question why the fund that have been given to Nigeria as loan from Islamic Bank and as well as the World Bank, where is that fund and what is it doing? Why is it not being utilized at the moment? Malaria is a serious matter and we must take it seriously. I ask the question, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Malaria, HIV, Tuberculosis, as well as Committee on Health Services. When you stand to do your motion of urgent public importance, just tell us about the subject briefly and then go to the prayers. We don't have time and the other paper is so full today. We're going to reduce conversation to subject matter prayers so that we can tidy up as quickly as possible. Thank you very much. Honorable Donald Kimi Campbell.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move that the relevant rules of the House, especially Order 8, Rule 4, is suspended to enable me move this urgent matter of public importance on the need for the House of Representatives to promptly intervene in the incessant cases of conflicts between the Nigerian Navy and private security outfits engaged by the NNPCL to protect our oil and gas assets in the Niger Delta region. Mr. Speaker, I go straight to the prayers.
Any seconder to this motion?
I hereby second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of this motion needs to be seconded. Who is the seconder to this second leg? Any seconder to it?
I rise this morning to second the second leg of the motion, that the motion is so important to be heard now. I so second.
Honorable Jogo, you can move your motion, but make it very brief. We have a lot of issues to discuss today, so subject matter prayers, please.
For the House to promptly intervene in the incessant cases of conflict between the Nigerian Navy and private security outfits engaged by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to protect oil and gas assets in the oil-rich Niger Delta region, posing threats to our revenue projections in the 2024 budget, as well as lives and property in the Niger Delta region. Mr. Chairman, in line with your directive, I will go straight to the prayer. It's a one-item prayer, and it is for the House to mandate the House Special Committee on Oil Theft in the Niger Delta to investigate the causes of the endless rivalry and conflict of operational responsibilities between officials of the Nigerian Navy and concerned security outfits engaged by the NNPCL in the Niger Delta region. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Abedi, you want a second? Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Ojoko. I so second.
The business of the day is presentation of 11 bills, and I invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Telecommunications Facilities Lawful Interception of Information Bill 2023, first reading. National Cotton, Textile and Garment Development Council Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Oil Palm Development Council Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigerian Mining Protection and Security Co. Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Snakebite and Toxicology Research and Treatment Center, Kaltungo, Gombe State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Civil Aviation Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Inland Revenue Service Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading.
The first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center or Kigwe and for related matters standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted a report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 20th of December 2023. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. Leader, please.
I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center of Kigwe and for related matters, HB 172, be read the third time. Also, that a bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act, CAP F8 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish Federal College of Education, Mutumbia, Taraba State, and for related matters, HB 494, be read the third time. Also, that a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, CAP A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish Federal College of Horticulture, Okigwe, and for related matters, HB 171, and a bill for an act to establish Food Vendors Registration Council of Nigeria, charged with the responsibility of advancing the registration, training, and safe practice of raw and cooked food vending businesses, and preventing double taxation collection on members of the council by unauthorized bodies. This was amended yesterday. In Nigeria, for related matters, HB 326, and finally, a bill for an act to establish National Assembly Budget and Research Office, which provides the National Assembly with objective, timely, and non-partisan analysis needed for economic and budget decisions, and for related matters, HB 600, be all read a third time. I so move
that the following bills be read for the third time: HB 172, HB 494, HB 171, HB 326, and HB 600. I so second.
Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Okigwe and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act F8 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish Federal College of Education Mutumbiu, Taraba State and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act A12 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish Federal College of Horticulture, Okigwe, and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to establish Food Vendors Registration Council of Nigeria, charged with the responsibility of advancing the registration, training, and safe practice of raw and cooked food vending businesses and preventing double taxation collection on members of the council, third reading. A bill for an act to establish National Assembly Budget and Research Office, which provides the National Assembly with objective, timely, and non-partisan analysis needed for economic and budget decisions and for related matters, third reading.
Bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Okigwe and for related matters, read the third time and pass. Bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act, Cap F8, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to establish Federal College of Education, Muntumbiu, Taraba State, and for related matters. Read the third time and pass. B for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Cap 812, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish Federal College of Horticulture, Okigwe, and for related matters, standing the name of the House Leader has been read and passed. A B for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria. A B for an act to establish Food Vendors Registration Council of Nigeria, charged with the responsibility of advancing the registration, training and safe practice of raw and cooked food vending businesses and preventing double taxation collection on the members of the council. Read the third time and pass. B for an act to establish National Assembly Budget and Research Office, which provides the National Assembly with objective, timely, and non-partisan analysis needed for economic and budget decision. Read the third time and pass. Honorable colleagues, the sixth order of the day is commencement of debate. The general principles of Bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011. For an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust 2011 to review the tenure of office of the Executive Secretary and expressly provide that the monotechnics shall benefit from the fund and for related matters. This is standing in the name of Honorable Saidu Musa Abdullahi. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 28 July 2023. And I invite Honorable Abdullahi to move that the bill be read the second time. Honorable Abdullahi, if you're in the house.
Honorable Abdullahi is not on the floor at the moment. I therefore move that the bill be stepped down, the second reading of the bill be stepped down by leave of the House. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much. Bill stepped down the leave of the House. It's commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act, Cap C-15, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Rotimi Akitunde. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 26 July 2023. And now I invite Honorable Akitunde to move that the bill be read the second time. Honorable Akitunde, are you in the House?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the bill, as you have aptly captured, be read a second time. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to second the motion that this bill be read a second time. I so second.
Honorable Akitunde, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, we realize that Nigeria at this point in time, the citizens of Nigeria need to once again believe and have trust in public officials. Mr. Speaker, I would also want to draw attention to the fact that the cost of corruption in the country is quite significant, and it is a cancer that needs to be nipped in the bud. The Code of Conduct Bureau is the establishment, the entity of the government that seeks to regulate the conduct of public officials. And the Principal Act is what I'm seeking to amend, Mr. Speaker, on three major points. Number one, Mr. Speaker, is that Section 1, Sub 2, states that the Bureau shall consist of a chairman and 9 other members, and I am seeking, Mr. Speaker, that it should be amended to include 1 member of the Nigeria Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. The value of this, Mr. Speaker, as we know, issues of assets declaration requires evaluation of properties. And since we have a professional body that is set up for this purpose, I think it's important that we have a member of that association on the board, a registered member on the board. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, is that In the Principal Act, we also have there in Section 1, Sub 2B, it states that at the time of appointment, members of the board shall be minimum of 50 years old. Mr. Speaker, I think that this is very unfortunate at this point in time that we are encouraging younger people to be involved in public office. And I think that we have enough evidence to show that young people have done well in the course of holding public office in very many instances. So I'm seeking to amend this provision to not less than 40 years. Mr. Speaker, lastly, is that all through the Principal Act, it states very clearly that there is a Code of Conduct, Assets and Liabilities Declaration form. However, in the first schedule, you'll see that there's a prescribed form that is attached. It only has provisions for declaration of assets. Mr. Speaker, I've filled this form over the course of 15 years in public service about 4 times, and I've noted this defect that needs to be cured. We need to have a section for declaration of liabilities. Mr. Speaker, this is the only way that you can know the true financial position of any public official if you have both assets declared and liabilities declared. So I'm seeking to amend that provision for it to include a provision for declaration of liabilities. Now, Mr. Speaker, I believe this is very much in line with the legislative agenda of the 10th Assembly, our anti-corruption legislative agenda, and the need to be more proactive and also are very forthcoming with information about public officials. I so move, Mr. Speaker, that these provisions should be debated and adopted. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion?
Mr. Speaker, I rise with utmost respect and commitment to second the motion just moved by our able colleague as he has enumerated the lead debate. I so second. Thank you.
Presentation, I must say, spokesperson of the House, very sound, address issues that are germane. Age should not be used against the youth. The demography that we are all fighting to bring on board, especially when we have passed the bill, not too young to run. They should also not be too young to occupy such position. 40 years might even be too long. We should even be amended to come down to about 35 or 30. From 30 years or even below, Nigerians are contributing to national growth. So we should not exclude the youth using such high number of ages for to deny the nation the contribution that they bring on board through their innovative mind and the transformation that they bring on board. So it's a very lovely, and also liability. When you talk about assets, you must talk about assets alongside liability, so that you will know the state of affairs of the individual that is coming on board. So it's. So I want to ask the question: those in support of this say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. It's a bill. Yes, yeah. During public hearing, those will come on board.
A bill for an act to amend the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act C-15, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and for related matters. Second reading.
The eighth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish agro-processing export-free trade zone, Yewa North, Imako Afong, Ogun State, and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Adeboyega Nasri Isiaka. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 25th July 2023. I now invite Honorable Isiaka to move that the bill be read the second time, if it's in the House.
I rise this afternoon to move a motion that this bill for an act to establish an export-free trade zone in Yewa North, Imeko for Federal Constituency be read for the second time, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, you may now lead your debate.
This bill is
aim at establishing an agro-processing export free trade zone in Yewa North, Imeko, from Federal Constituency of Ogun State. A free trade zone, like we all know, is a geographically designated area deemed to be outside the host nation in relation to national laws and regulations. In presenting this bill, I think the first thing to say is that this bill speaks 100% the mind of this House, as contained in page 54 to 55 of our legislative agenda. And if Mr. Speaker permits me, I just read that. That page 54, that the House will take legislative measures to support key sectors as follows. And that is setting up special economic zones with attractive incentives to draw international investors. This basically is the provision of our legislative agenda as contained in page 54 of our agenda. And like I said, this is exactly what this bill seeks to do. But in addition to that, are some peculiarities of this bill that I will just quickly mention. One is that it aims to utilize part of our underutilized arable lands in Nigeria. Nigeria, we are said to have about 35 million hectares of arable lands, out of which about 56% are not utilized. This bill seeks to utilize that because this is an agro-processing.
Okay, round up. Secondly is that it is a processing, it is aimed at processing facilities. But more importantly is that the African Continental Free Trade Area is one thing that most African countries are jostling for now to be part of. So any of this kind of facility set up in border communities of Nigeria will aim to make sure that Nigeria participates more fully in the African Continental Free Trade Area. So I propose that this bill be given a passage at this stage. It's a bill of about seven parts, and it's aimed to establish this so that these advantages and many more that time will not permit us to look.
Okay, round up. We have a lot of.
So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
I rise this morning to second the bill as having moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
The question is that the bill be read the second time. Those in support of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
A bill for an act to establish agro-processing export-free trade zone, Yewa North, Imeko, Afon, Ogun State, and for related matters, second reading.
This bill is referred to Committee on Commerce. Honorable colleagues, the ninth order of the day is commencement of debate. The general principles of a bill for an act to provide for enactment of Child Online Access Protection Bill 2023 and other issues of online violence against Nigerian child and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Olumide Oshoba, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 25th July 2023. I now invite Honorable Oshoba to move that the bill be now read a second time. Honorable Oshoba, please.
I rise with the leave of the House that a bill for an act to provide for the enactment of Child Online Access Protection Bill 2023 and other issues of online violence against the Nigerian child be read a second time. I so move.
I rise to second that this bill should be taken for the second time. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Oshoba, lead your debate. Make it as quickly as possible as well, like the others.
Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, I stand before you today, not just as a legislator, but as a parent deeply concerned about the safety of our children and in the digital age. In the face of technological advancements, our children encounter unprecedented risk. Mr. Speaker, raising a child in this era of the internet has become a very enduring task. The threat of violence has escalated, affecting our children physically, sexually, and psychologically. Honorable members, the internet has become a breeding ground for threats to our children, and the absence of mandates to sensitize and enlighten parents, government, and the public on the alarming increase in child abuse due to online activities calls for a robust legislative intervention. We cannot afford to underestimate the impact of the internet on our children. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the bill necessitates a collaborative effort from stakeholders, including legislators, clergymen, legal aid councils, birth and death registry, to make sure that the internet and service providers make the internet safe for our children. This bill proposes a framework to prevent and address harm caused by serious online abuse or illegal and restricted online content. It emphasizes the importance of reporting incidents properly and highlights the steps for addressing various types of online abuse. Additionally, it outlines fines, imprisonment, and other penalties to discourage online aggression and violence against the Nigerian child. In essence, this bill mandates internet service providers to block access to materials depicting violent conduct, regulate illegal restricted content irrespective of the host, and remove intimate images and videos shared online that negatively impact the Nigerian child. In conclusion, the debate calls for collective action. As representatives of the people and parents and guardians of the future, we bear a collective responsibility to protect our children. The Online Access Protection Bill is a pivotal step towards ensuring a safer digital future for Nigerian youths. I urge you, my esteemed colleagues, to support and pass this bill to complement existing legislation, providing a comprehensive shield against online violence targeting our children. Thank you, my esteemed colleagues.
Any seconder to this? Yes, former Speaker Gombe.
Looking at the importance of this bill, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother, friend, and colleague. I so second.
Clerk.
Provide for enactment of Child Online Access Protection Bill 2023 and other issues of online violence against Nigerian child and for related matters. Second reading.
Honorable colleagues, I will make a little adjustment on the business of the day on our order paper because we are sending one of us, Honorable Dixon, to an important assignment. So his number is 19. We're bringing him up as the next to be heard. So I invite Honorable Dixon to move a motion on need to investigate the National Air Carrier Project.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, should note that in 2016, the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, proposed an aviation roadmap with National Carrier as a signature project, aiming to deliver to Nigerians by the end of former President Buhari's administration. Also notes that the former Minister of Aviation approached Ethiopian Airlines a few days before the handover to provide an aircraft that could be made available to Nigerians as an aircraft belonging to Nigerian Air, and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, had issued an air transport license to the Nigerian Air that was the same as proposed by Nigerian National Carrier. Aware that the last administration spent billions of naira ostensibly to acquire the said new Nigeria carrier, but the status of the project remained unclear regardless of the billions of taxpayers' funds utilized on the project. Worried that if the negative trend is not investigated, it may lead to issues with accountability and continue to recur in the expenditure of the federal project. The House resolved to urge the National Bureau of Statistics and Ministry of Budgets, National Planning and Finance to furnish the House with data and financial resources on the National Carrier Project. Mandate the Committee of Aviation to invite the Minister of Aviation to brief the committee on the National Carrier Project. Invite the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, to brief the committee on the status of the project and at the point of handover, and provide insights on the wide-ranging of controversies and allegations surrounding the project. Invite the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to brief the committee about the Nigerian Air Carrier Project and its certification as applied to National Air Carrier, and invite the 8 local airlines and their associations to afford the House a full overview of the project, carry out a forensic audit of the process of Air Nigeria, and report back within 4 weeks to the House.
You have any contribution to make? amendment. Yeah, any seconder to the, yes.
I stand to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second.
Mr. Speaker, I felt that this bill is a very important, this motion is a very important one, and it should not be restricted to the Committee on Aviation alone. I suggest that all the aviation-related committee should be included in this forensic audit.
I rise to second the amendment ably made by my honorable colleague, and I so second my.
Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Aviation. In view of that amendment that was just approved by the House, all related committees within the aviation sector, they are also part of this. The next order of the day is a motion on the need for the resuscitation and resumption of operation of NTA Channel 35, Eket, Akwa Ibom State, standing in the name of Honorable Opolum Ete. Honorable Ete is invited to move the motion. Subject matter and prayers, please.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to move a motion on the need for the resuscitation and resumption of operations of NTA Channel 35 Eket, Akwa Ibom State. Respectfully, I move the prayers. 1. The House resolved to urge the Nigerian Television Authority to ensure that NTA Channel 35 station in Eket commence full digital operations by the 2024 fiscal year. 2. Mandate the Committee on Information, National Orientation and Values to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my colleague. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, my amendment goes this way. I actually want to plead that NTA brass should be included into, because they are facing the same problem just like the Eket. So that's my amendment. It's addition of NTA brass by Bayelsa State to be included.
Honorable Dr. Adedayo, please second.
I rise this afternoon to second the amendment ably moved by my colleague and sister. I so second. Thank you, sir.
We're talking about the amendment. Those in support of the amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Sir, the amendment on prayer number 2 mandate the Committee on Information and National Orientation and Values, and then to add the Committee of Appropriation. Thank you. I so move.
Your amendment, right? Any seconder?
I rise this afternoon to support the motion moved by my colleague. I so second the motion. Thank you.
Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Information, National Orientation and Values. The 12th order of the day is a motion on need to curb the sale of Naira notes by the point of sale operators in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Dan Abba Shehu. Honorable Shehu is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, with humility and respect, I stand before you and my honorable colleagues to move a motion in respect of need to curb the sale of Naira note by the point of sale POS operation in Nigeria. The House note that the point of sale of POS machine was invented and produced to alleviate the financial transaction hookups emanating from the commercial bank in Nigeria. Also note that financial transaction machine have significantly transformed the financial sector in the country by assisting the public in resolving banking challenges in commercial banks. Aware that point-of-sale machines have been adopted in advanced countries like US, UK, and South Africa to facilitate financial transformation without manipulation. The innovative trend was adopted in Nigeria a few years ago to curb financial hookups and address daily challenges faced by the customers to access funds. Also aware that Section 1 and 2 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 empower the Central Bank of Nigeria to regulate commercial banks and advise the government on financial issues to achieve good governance. Worry that the POS operators are now selling Naira note at an exorbitant price of 1,000 for 300 to 400 Naira, while 10,000 Naira goes for 4,000 Naira, those causing concern among the citizens who are currently experiencing economic hardship. Cognizant of the need for the government to utilize its relevant authority under the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 to supervise commercial banks and advise the financial matters, including regulating point-of-sale operators. This will validate public confidence and address the hardship faced by the citizens in Nigeria financially transaction. Resolve, urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to immediately commence proper monitoring and the supervision of commercial bank activities daily to ascertain the extent of counter payment to the customer.
Okay, go to your prayers.
Yes, and prayer. Secondly, also urge the point-of-sale operators to immediately remove excessive charges to the customer across the country. Mandate the Committee on Banking Regulation and Digital and Electronic Banking to invite the Minister of Finance and the National Planning and the Budget and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to explain why commercial banks are not paying customers over the counter and the ATM machine. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to second the motion. Heavily moved by my brother. I so second Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
I want to amend those that we reduce his prayers to one. And I propose the amendment as follows. To mandate the committees on banking regulations, institutions as well as digital and electronic banking to commence full investigation into this menace and report back within 4 weeks. I make this because this prayer seeks what the prayer seeks to do. It can even cure what these two other prayers also seek. And that is the crux of the matter. How they go about it is what is even being listed in the prayer. So I want to limit it to that level so that the committees, relevant committees that will be mandated, will have the leeway to go about their business on how they go about their investigation. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Seconder.
I rise this afternoon to propose the motion, the amendment ably moved by my colleague Asuso. Second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Banking Regulation and Digital as well as Electronic Banking. The 13th order of the day is a motion on the need to adequate provision for water sanitation and hygiene facility in public places in Abuja and other public spaces in Nigeria, starting in the name of Honorable Henry Okoje. Honorable Henry is invited to move the motion. Please, subject matter and prayer because it's an infrastructure motion. Just the subject matter and prayers, please.
I rise this afternoon to remove a motion of the need for adequate provision for water, sanitary and hygiene, wash, facility in public places in Abuja and other public spaces in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I will just go to the prayers because of time. The House resolve urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation in collaboration with the states, local government councils and other key players across the Federation to operationalize an achievable detailed roadmap towards achieving an open defecation-free Nigeria using specific approaches such as providing water, hygiene, and sanitation in all public places. And also mandate the Committee on Water Resources to ensure compliance and report back to the House for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you to this motion.
I rise to second the motion ably moved by my friend. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Water Resources The 14th order of the day is a motion on perennial flood and erosion in Nteje, Omonya, and Obunike, Inoi, Ayamelum Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Standing in the name of Honorable Kwacham Maureen Chinwe, Honorable Maureen is invited to move the motion. It's a disaster-related motion. Subject matter and prayers, please.
One is to urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials to the victims of flood and erosion disasters and set up an emergency station in Oyi Ayamelu Federal Constituency of Anambra State in the event of an emergency. 2 is to also urge the Ecological Fund Office and Ministry of Environment to tackle the menace of flooding in the affected areas. 3, further urge the Federal Ministry of Works to commence repairs and construction of affected roads in the area and to also mandate the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I so move.
And I rise to second the motion, ably moved by Honorable Maureen Kwacham. I so second.
It's a straightforward motion. It's a disaster motion. So I'll just put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Emergency Disaster Preparedness. The 10th order of the day is a motion on a call on Nigerian universities and tertiary institutions to adopt a semester-based school fee payment system. Standing in the name of Honorable Saadwada Taura, Honorable Taura is invited to move the motion.
I rise this afternoon to move a motion on the call on Nigerian university and tertiary institutions to adopt a semester-based school fee payment system. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, note the demand for cost-effective and efficient education financing model in the tertiary institutions. Also note that the current annual school fee payment system in Nigeria present financial challenges for the students and the families, given the recent subsidy removal, single window forex policy, among others, the recent increments in the tertiary institutions across the Federation. My dear distinguished respected colleagues, Mr. Speaker, sir, be aware of the anticipated benefit of adopting a semester-based school fee payment system for tertiary institutions, international universities including the University of California, University of Sydney, recently implemented the semester-based fee payment system to minimize the financial convenience and reduce the strain on the students and the parents.
Yeah. Let's have the prayers.
The prayers are, urge the tertiary institution to adopt the semester-based school fee payment system. That's number 1. Number 2, also urge the Federal Ministry of Education to work closely with institutions and the stakeholders in the education sector to provide necessary support for adopting the school fee payment system. Prayer number 3, mandate the Committee on University Education, Polytechnics, Higher Technical Education, and the Federal College of Education to investigate the viability and adopting the semester-based school fee payment system while considering the specific need and circumstances for each institution and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, my dear respected colleagues, the call and the support to Nigerian common man can never be overemphasized. At this junction, I so submit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
What is the amendment?
Considering that the third prayer is saying to investigate the viability of adopting a semester-based school fees So I don't think it's not in sync with the title. So I therefore amend that the title of the motion should rather read, call on Nigerian universities and tertiary institutions to evaluate the viability of adopting a semester-based school fees payment system.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on University Education, Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education, Federal Colleges and Education. House Leader, move that the House do resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider these bills.
To move that the House do resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider the said report. I so move.
Rise to second the motion that the House do resolve into Committee of the Whole. I so second.
Because of the Appropriation Acts and the supplementary appropriation that we are handling, I would also like the leader to move that the House do resolve into Committee of the Supply. So we are doing both Committee of Whole, and when we are done, we'll do Committee of Supply at the same time before I climb up. So move that we also enter into the Committee of Supply.
As we are considering, I rise to move that the House do resolve to Committee of Supply.
Minority Leader, please.
Respectfully, to second the motion that the House do resolve into Committee of Supply, I so second.
Motion that the House do resolve into the Committee of Supply to consider this appropriation act that we are about to amend, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The House hereby resolve into the Committee of the Whole as well as the Committee of Supply. Bill to be considered is for an act to repeal the National Film and Video Censors Board, Act Cap N40. There is an act to establish College of Nursing and Midwifery Otu Jeremy Delta State, and related matters. I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
And Delta State and related states, including the Bendel Zone Reserve School of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, is not in doubt. This particular one is designed to promote teaching, to provide examinations for those seeking to earn qualifications, operate rules and conditions under which the dissemination of knowledge will be regulated, promote research, maintain documentation in the area of health services, and receive students and persons wishing to become midwives or nurses from across the country. A very good bill. Let's support it. I so move.
Clause 2, 3 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 37, explanatory memorandum, long title, the seventh bill to be considered is for an act to repeal the National Film and Video Censors Board, Act Cap N40 Law of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Film and Video Censorship Classification and Exhibition Regulatory Commission Act for the classification of film videos, works, musical videos, and video games, and for the regulation of their sales, rental, distribution, exhibition, and for related matters. I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
This is a bill that will make significant contributions to this sector. It's long overdue. People work hard, but they don't get the rewards. There are some actors that just died recently. They couldn't even pay off because of piracy and what have you. This bill seeks to strengthen that commission so that it will be able to classify films, video works, musicals, recordings, performances, maintain a very detailed library so it will be easy for historical memory, ensure the conditions under which public performances take place are rentals, check piracy and the stealing of the intellectual works of our hard-working actors, actresses, and deal with issues of distributorship, retailership, and exhibitions. I think it's comprehensive and good and addresses a major flaw in the existing bill. I recommend that we give it full support.
The question is that 76 clauses be made part of the bill. Clause 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, if you look at clause 64, page 17, it talks about pornographic films and videos. And it reads, any person who produces, makes, sells, hires, rents, exhibits, publishes, or supplies pornographic films, video works, musical videos, and video games in Nigeria commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. Mr. Chairman, I believe if you look at the danger of what this very clause has done to Nigeria, the term should be increased to a minimum of 5 years, and the monetary fine should equally be increased from 1 million to at least 10 million to serve as deterrent. Thank you.
Any seconder to that amendment? Madam Ononuga.
I stand to second the amendment ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so amend.
So 64 as amended, carried. 65, 66, 66, 67, 67 to 74, 75, 76, explanatory memorandum, long title. Oh yeah, we missed shadows, right? Shadows. The eighth bill to be considered is for an act to establish Southeast Development Commission charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation and the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the civil war, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental and developmental challenges in the Southeast state and for related matters. I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill. Leader, please.
Anyone that has traveled to the Southeast will know that this bill is so late in coming. Essentially, to perform the functions of providing holistic, sustainable, verifiable growth and development in the Southeast, addressing a variety of issues from health to infrastructure to water control to supporting education and promoting the general well-being of the people and those who traverse the area. Mr. Chairman, the Commission will be benefiting by learning from the mistakes of other commissions and provide holistic service to the people of the Southeast. I think we should support it, we should promote it, and encourage it.
Clause 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 31, shadows, explanatory memorandum, long title, the ninth bill to be considered is for an act to repeal the Weight and Measure Act Cap W3, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Weight and Measure Regulatory Agency Establishment Act 2003 for the development and enforcement of varying scopes of legal metrology activity for the promotion of fair trade, protection of public health, safety and environment, and for related matters. I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
Mr. Chairman, as you know, the issues being addressed by this bill have continued to pervade the issue of metrology, both legal and administrative. Mr. Chairman, the purpose of this agency essentially, among others, is to ensure the equitable use of measures to commercial transactions. Once there is this connection and this regulation there, businesses run into problems. So they want to facilitate and ensure the use of correct measurements in industry, trade, health, safety, environmental management, and other activities that utilize measurements. They want to bring the agency to standards, contemporary best practices around the world in the use of relevant technology to ensure there is no underhand play or an attempt to, if you like, play some wayo in the business of measurements. So they want to ensure the reliability of measurements in the country. I think this would contribute significantly to making transactions easy to follow. I think it's good. We should support it.
Yeah, the question is that 73 clauses be made part of this bill. Clause 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 60, 61 to 70, 71, 72, 73, explanatory memorandum, long title. The 10th bill to be considered is a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation of the capital aspect of the Appropriation Act 2023 from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024, HB 1075. Leader, you are invited to give the synopsis of the bill.
The goal is to ensure that different releases to NTAs will not be able to complete their assignment by the end of this year, and those projects that have been funded are not in the 2024 appropriation. So it is important to give them a little more time to complete the implementation to ensure accountability and service delivery. So it is essentially to move 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024.
Three clauses be made part of this bill. Clause 1, Clause 2, Clause 3, explanatory memorandum, long title. The 11th bill to be considered is a bill for an act to amend the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023 to extend its implementation to 31st March 2024 and for related matters, HB 1076. Leader is invited to...
The explanation that provided just a minute ago suffices in this case.
Thank you. Clause 1, Clause 2, explanatory memorandum, long title. Consider reports from the Committee of the Whole and Committee of Supply. The House hereby reverts to plenary. Honorable colleagues, the House and Committee of the Whole consider the report on a bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship, Saki, Oyo State, to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration and related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 25, schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Honorable colleagues, the House and Committee of the Whole consider the report on a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Act Cap A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Abi, Cross River State, and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 3, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Most distinguished colleagues, the Housing Committee of the Whole considered the report on a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Agriculturists charged with the responsibility of advancing the study, training, and practice of agriculture activities and determining the standard of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become registered members of the Institute and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 43, schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Honorable colleagues, the House in Committee of the Whole considered a report on a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery, and Health Sciences, Isialambano, Imo State, and for related matters. Approved clauses 1 to 37, explanatory memorandum, and long title of the bill. Respected colleagues, the House in Committee of the Whole considered a report on a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Cooperative Professionals in Nigeria, charged with the responsibility for advancing the training and practice of cooperative professionals for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 28, shadows, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Honorable colleagues, the House in Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to establish College of Nursing and Midwifery, Jeremy, Delta State, and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 37, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Honorable colleagues, the Chairman's report from the Committee of the Whole is that the House in Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to repeal the National Film and Video Censors Board Act, Cap N40, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact National Film and Video Censorship, Classification and Exhibition Regulatory Commission Act for the classification of films, video works, musical videos, and video games, for the regulation of their sales, rental, distribution, exhibition, and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 63, clauses 64 as amended, clauses 65 to 76, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. The Chairman's report from the Committee of the Whole, where the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to establish Southeast Development Commission charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from the allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the Civil War, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the Southeast state, and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 31, share those explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. The House and Committee of the Whole considered a report on the bill for an act to repeal the Weight and Measures Act, Cap W3, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Weight and Measures Regulatory Agency Establishment Act 2003 for the development and enforcement of varying scope of legal metrology activities for the promotion of fair trade, protection of public health, safety, and environment, and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 73, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Most distinguished colleagues, the House and Committee of Supply considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024, and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 3, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Most distinguished colleagues, the House and Committee of Supply considered the report on a bill for an act to amend the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024, and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 3, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Leader, please move that the House do adopt the report from the Committee of the Whole, the Committee of Supply.
That the House do adopt the reports from the Committee of the Whole and from the Committee of Supply as ably rendered by Mr. Speaker. I so move.
That the House do adopt the reports from the Committee of the Whole and Committee of Supply. I so second.
It is hereby adopted as a working instrument of the House of Representatives. Chairman rules. Move that we suspend our rules to enable leader move a motion for us to read for the third time all the bills that we just considered at the moment.
Honorable members, I move that the House do suspend Order 12 through 3 sub 1 to enable the House conclude, do the third reading and pass all the bills that have just been done at the Committee of the Whole today. Also by the Committee of Supply. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I stand to second the motion as ably moved by the Chairman, Business and Rule. I so second.
Leader, you are invited to move a motion that bills from 1 to, I think it's about 11 or 12, that they go for third reading.
I rise to move that House Bills 628, 330, 653, 173, 603, 221, 475, 626, 614, 1075, and 1076 be read for the third time. I so move.
I rise to second the motion as very ably moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
A bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship, Shaki, Oyo State, to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act CAP 812, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Abi, Cross River State, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Agriculturists, charged with the responsibility of advancing the study, training, and practice of agriculture activities, and determining the standard of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become registered members of the Institute and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery and Health Sciences, Isiala, Mbano, Imo State, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Cooperative Professionals in Nigeria, charged with the responsibility of advancing the training and practice of cooperative professionals and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish College of Nursing and Midwifery out of Midwifery, Jeremy, Delta State, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to repeal the National Film and Video Censors Board Act, CAP N40, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Film and Video Censorship Classification and Exhibition Regulatory Commission and Act for the classification of films, video works, musical videos, and video games, and for the regulation of their sales, rentals, distribution, exhibition, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish Southeast Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the Civil War, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the Southeast states and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to repeal the Weights and Measures Act CAP W3, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Weights and Measures Regulatory Agency Establishment Act 2003 for the development and enforcement of varying scopes of legal metrology activities for the promotion of fair trade, protection of public health, safety, and the environment, and for related matters. Third reading. Act to amend the Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Supplementary Appropriations Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship, Saki, Oyo State, HB 628, read and pass. Honorable colleagues, be for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Art Cap A12 Law of Federation of Nigeria 2004, HB 330, read and passed. A bill for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Agriculture is charged with the responsibility of advancing the study, training, and practice of agriculture, HB 653, read and passed. A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery, Health Science, Isi Alambano, HB 173, read third time and passed. Bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Cooperative Professionals in Nigeria, charged with the responsibility of advancing the training and practice of cooperative professionals, HB 603, read third time and passed. A bill for an act to establish College of Nursing and Midwifery, Jeremy, Delta State, read third time, HB 221, read the third time and passed. A bill for an act to repeal the National Film and Video Censors Board Act Cap N40, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, HB 475, read third time and passed. A bill for an act to establish Southeast Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of road, among other things, HB 626, read and passed. A bill for an act to repeal the Weight and Measures Act Cap W3 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and to enact the Nigerian Weight and Measures Regulatory Agency Act 2023, HB 614, read and passed. A bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to March 31st, 2024, read and passed. A bill for an act to amend the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024, read and passed. Before we ask for a motion for adjournment, Leader, can you move that we adopt the vote on proceedings of today so that we can do referral immediately to the Senate on most of these bills that has gone through?
We adopt the vote on proceedings.
You move that we adopt the vote on proceedings of today's hearing.
The House do adopt its votes and proceedings of today. I so second.
The votes and proceedings is hereby adopted by the House. Leader, please move that this House be adjourned to 30th.
Going to Saturday, 30th of December 2023, same venue, same time, 11 a.m. I so move.
I rise to second the motion that the House do adjourn to Saturday, the 30th day of December 2023. I so second.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. And I'm sure when we come back on the 30th, we'll be able to wish you a Happy New Year. Enjoy your Christmas. It's a moment of peace. Make sure you spread peace across the nation. And God will bless you and bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in support of this motion that we do adjourn to 30th of December, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. And Merry Christmas.
And those were the highlights of the House plenary of Thursday, December 21, 2023. The passage of the 2024 appropriation bill by the National Assembly is already slated for Saturday, 30th December 2023, and you will certainly get all the details from the NTA. And that's our package today. We thank you so much for watching. I am Mitaire Ikben. Do stay safe and enjoy the best of the season. Bye for now.